There are certain acts of righteousness like prayer, communion in the Spirit, evangelism in the form of sharing the testimony of Jesus. There are certain things that all believers have as the children's bread. Every believer has the ability to cast out devils. Every believer has a certain degree of authority that they get just from being a child of God. But there are also specific gifts of ministry. There are specific things that we are invited in to do, and we don't necessarily get to choose. Some of the most anointed worship leaders I have ever met cannot sing. Some of the other most anointed times of worship I've ever had in my life, even musical worship, people aren't carrying a tune properly. But for whatever reason, in God's grace, sometimes He uses our strengths, but sometimes He uses our weaknesses. I have been among worship leaders who actually led worship, and it had nothing to do with music. And I've been among worship leaders who led worship in music and were not what anyone would consider talented. But by the end of it, you knew that you knew that you knew that you had been in the presence of the Most High. The lost are being saved. All of the evidence is there. And that's true not just of music and worship. That's true of all of God's gifts.